Great. Again, Pandas is a library that provides data structures and data analysis tools in Python. So in this lecture, you'll see what I mean with data structures and data analysis. So you'll see the main pandas object, which is a structure that contains the data. And you'll see that how we get data from this structure and analyze them. So I'll open a simple command line. And for now, we'll use IPython, which is great for data analysis and working with data. But even better is Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is like a Python shell. It's actually a combination of a Python shell and a Python editor, and it's a browser-based tool where you can write Python code, and it's very efficient, so it really boosts your productivity. But for this lecture, I want to start with simple things, so one step at a time, and I'll introduce you to pandas using IPython only. And then in the next lecture, I'll show you how to set up a Jupyter Notebook, previously known as the IPython Notebook. So you'll set up Jupyter, and I'll show you how to work with Jupyter. So for now, let's go ahead and use the plain IPython console. Import pandas. And yeah, normally the first thing you do is you want to import some data, let's say from a CSV file or from a text file, or even an Excel file or JSON or other formats, which we'll be covering later. But there are also other ways to create a pandas data structure. And now the first thing you should know is that this data structure that I'm talking about is called a data frame. So that's a special object that will hold the data. And you can create one. You can store a data frame in a variable, let's say df1, pandas data frame. So I'm creating a data frame manually, passing values manually via Python. Normally you want to use other files, like I mentioned. So data frame, and now think of the data frame as a table. So you may want to pass a list of lists, where each list will be a row of that table. So let's pass some data there, 2, 4, 6, and 10, 20, 30. You execute that, and that was successful because you didn't get an error. df1, and here is the data frame. So 2, 4, 6 is the first row, 10, 20, 30 is the second row. And these 0, 1, 2 are the names of the columns. And these are referred as indexes. So 0, 1 here are indexes for the rows, and these here are the column names. The beauty of pandas is that you can also have your own column names, if you like. So I'm gonna call this expression again, and I want to pass here a parameter called columns, that expects a list of names, which has to have the same number of items with the number of columns that your data frame has. So if you pass list with 3 items, you want to pass 3 columns here as well. Let's say price, something random, age, and value. You execute that, and let me expand this, df1, and this time you see that you have your own column names there. Now similarly, you can pass custom names for the indexes as well, by passing index as parameter, and then you'd want to pass a list with 2 items because we have 2 rows only. Let's say first, second, df1, and you have custom indexes. However, normally you won't have to pass custom indexes. Data normally have a defined number of columns, but the rows, you may have hundreds and thousands of rows or millions there. So you really don't want to mess up with index names. However, the feature is just that, in special cases. So there's one way to create a pandas data frame, and you also have other ways as well, which are not very common to use, but I just wanted to know that they are there. So again, you pass a list here, and then what you could do is you could pass 2 dictionaries inside that list. So you can see the similarity. Here we used a list of lists. Here we are also passing a list object, but it's a list of dictionaries. And yeah, what you could do here is you could pass values, keys and values for the dictionary, and here as well. So let's say name John, name Jack. Execute that, df2, and yeah, this is yet another data frame. If you wanted to have more columns there, such as surname, you'd want to add here another key and value for the dictionary. So something like surname. And now if you execute that and df2, you'll get the surname column added there. But for Jack, you get none because you didn't pass a surname in the dictionary, in the second dictionary. So if you do the same for Jack, if you pass a surname, you'll get the value in here. So those are two basic ways to build data frames on the fly. And as I said, normally these values will come out of files, of CSV files, Excel files, etc. I will do that throughout the next lectures. And one more thing I want you to know is, so this is a data structure, and now what data analysis means is, out of this data structure you want to get out information. So you may want to extract, for instance, the average of all these values. So 2, 4, 6, 10, 20, 30. So here we enter the phase of data analysis. And the approach to do that is, this data frame object now, which you can see the type df1. So it's a data frame of pandas. Now this data frame object has methods attached to it. If you do dir, and yeah, you see that it has quite a lot of methods that you can apply to it. Let's locate the mean method there. Here is mean. So what you could do is you point to df1 and then mean and brackets, and you get the mean of all the columns. And if you want the mean of the entire data frame, you could apply again the mean method after that. So what this does is it applies the mean method over this series here. So this type is a pandas series object. Series have more or less the same methods that you can apply to a data frame. So df1 and df1.price, and you get the series of the price column. So that is also, if you check the type, that is also a pandas series. So a data frame is made of series. And of course you can apply the mean method to price as well. And similarly you can apply other methods as well that are available there. So max, and you get the maximum value. And yeah, that's about the introduction to pandas. In the next lecture you will learn about Jupyter. It's very pleasant to work with Jupyter, so don't miss that. And then we'll go ahead and open data frames, create data frames out of files. So I'll see you later.